Dig it.
Slow Drag with Remedy. Ballyhoo and welcome. The Passion Project continues. My name is Remedy Robinson, and this is an appreciation. This is an exploration of linguistics, language, and how to distinguish the vintage from the archaic, as framed by the peerless poetry of the modern-day master, Elvis Costello. Today's slow drag is with Motel Matches from Get Happy, released in 1980. The songwriting is credited to Elvis Costello. In a graduating class of 19 other smash and grab jobs from Get Happy, Motel Matches remains a soft spot in many hearts for its candid level of nostalgia, sex appeal, and confessed naivete. It's a piece that is just another reminder of how illusions are able to stack beautifully one upon the other. And of course, it's a piece that showed the world just a glimpse of the depth of encyclopedic music knowledge Mr. Costello has at his fingertips. Somewhere in the distance, I can hear who shot Sam. This is my conviction that I am an innocent man. Though you say I'm unkind, I'm being as nice as I can. The first line of this first verse was famously written 3 years before it found its final home here. The lore of it has become part of a post-punk time capsule, one that includes a postscript of the first encounter with the patron saint of seedy motels, Tom Waits. Before that story, however, it's always a joy to trace the finished product to its humble and sometimes awkward beginnings. The slant end rhymes of this verse deftly pairs the assonants Sam and man, then goes the extra mile to accomplish a clever slant rhyme on the consonants kind and can. An early live version recorded in North Hollywood in early 1979 and released on the 2004 Almost Blue Rhino Etzel re-release reveals an ever so slight chip in this bone china. After the first line, instead of professing his innocence through employing keen polar opposites with, "This is my conviction that I am an innocent man," the line reads, "Someone's crawling around your door," evoking perhaps a bit of Miracle Man from My Aim is True, that finds him crawling around on all fours, and then continues with, "I suspect it is the Insect Man." There's no contraction in this line as you might expect in casual conversation, just "it is the Insect Man." Afterward, as it returns to the familiar with, "though you say I'm unkind," interestingly, there is a two-word line inserted in order to accomplish a straight rhyme. "Though you say I'm unkind," it goes on to say, "you'll find," unkind and find, just before it finishes with the flourish of, "I'm being as nice as I can." There's something thrilling in a wordy, nerdy, slow drag sort of way to see how the poet has opted for the slant rhyme in the final version rather than the safer sounding matching end rhyme. The first line, the one jotted down in Mr. Costello's notebook 3 years earlier, as the story has been told many times and in many places, came to him in the Tropicana Motel in Los Angeles. Somewhere in the distance, I can hear who shot Sam. Had this been 20 miles away at the Hacienda Motel, the story he was told of how Sam Cooke was shot in the room that he occupied that night might have been accurate. As it was, the young genius who wasn't familiar with the U.S. yet took the story to heart. Sleeping in the room where Cooke was reportedly shot kept him up all night. Was it a ghost he was concerned about, or was it the fear of history repeating itself? Either way, true to his poetic prowess, the details of a sleepless night, listening to distant alarms, got usurped by another clever reference. Who Shot Sam is the title of the 1959 George Jones song about Sammy Sampson and his jealous lover, Silly Millie. Another obvious connection between this reference and George Jones is the haunting Good Year for the Roses, sung by Jones and written by Jerry Chestnut. All these peripheral connections that are made thanks to one perpendicular allusion has turned Motel Matches into an instant classic, one that can be enjoyed on so many different levels. Boys everywhere, fumbling with the catches. I struck a lucky with motel matches, falling for you without a second look, falling out of your open pocketbook, giving you away like motel matches. This catchy chorus sports a solid AABBA rhyme structure as it incorporates phrasal verbs that create three or four solid metaphors before rounding off with a poignant simile. The Urban Dictionary cites this chorus in its entry for the term motel matches. And as with everything Urban Dictionary, it concerns itself with the lowest hanging fruit. Motel Matches, the entry begins. Used to be matchbooks with the motel's name on the cover. If you met a girl or a guy in a bar and saw them use motel matches to light their cigarette, then it would be possible to assume that this person was a frequent visitor to that particular motel or some sort of sex worker. The entry concludes that giving you away like motel matches is to imply that he's falling in love with a hooker. So while it's great to see Mr. Costello's work being cited, this definition has done little to capture the nuance and innocence that flows throughout this piece. Simply put, or innocently put perhaps, motel matches were readily available souvenir tchotchkes of a budget-minded traveler, big enough to scribble a number on and unsentimental enough to share as indiscriminately as you'd like. The matches themselves, the brand of cigarettes that double as a term for betting a person, and the implication that this is a fleeting situation that can be indulged in recklessly, and a multitude of other interpretations from these 5 lines is truly inspired. The mention of the boys and their sophomoric attempts situates this entire chorus in the realm of the childish, of the inexperienced. I wake with the siren in an emergency. Though your mind is full of love, in your eyes there is a vacancy. And you know what I'll do when the light outside changes from red to blue. The stout rhyme of emergency and vacancy unites both the allusion to Sam Cooke's shooting as it remains squarely in motel terms. The opposite of vacancy, of course, is full, and then there's the imagery of a red light and what it means when it turns blue. Urban Dictionary browsers, of course, might cite prostitution. However, I feel it's far more poetic to consider that a no vacancy sign is most often red, while the vacancy sign typically shines blue. And you know what I'll do when the light outside changes from red to blue. The answer to which might very well be check out, which itself can play victim to a double entendre. As with the first verse before, there are more alternate lines found in the early live version of the second verse. Instead of what we heard as an allegorical filled 5 line verse, you'll hear there once lived a peculiar 4 line verse instead. I remember thinking as I was crawling to the door that I might make my move if I could only jump this checkered floor. And I know that quite soon you'll see more of me than just a cartoon. Of course, your opinion might be different, but I can only imagine that this might be a very rare set of placeholder lyrics that don't seem to hold up well under scrutiny. Maybe you find joy and meaning in this as well, though I don't know. I'm thankful for the finished product, of course, yet as always, I'm always tickled to see early drafts. Boys everywhere, fumbling with the catches. I struck lucky with motel matches, falling for you without a second look, falling out of your open pocketbook, giving you away like motel matches.
Dig it.
Again, this has been a slow drag with Motel Matches from 1980's Get Happy. Decades of history, the mindset of the budget traveler, and the propensity for young men to attempt difficult maneuvers, and so much more, has been captured in a narrow real time of 2 minutes and 28 seconds. This is not surprising, of course, given that it is the median length of most of the pieces on Get Happy. For as often as Mr. Costello's work is lovingly referred to as wordy, there is also a case to be made for his genius economy of words. What he's done is layer meaning over simile, over grammar point, over metaphor, elongating its reverberation that could triple its running time. In this piece, we have seen a healthy example of the revision process, as well as caught a glimpse into a more gullible and childlike state of mind. The back and the side stories that accompany this piece are riveting, of course, yet there's always the joy of boys who will always intrepidly fumble with the catches. And that's it for today's slow drag, my friend. Thank you for listening. Other gems from Get Happy you'll enjoy a slow drag with are episode 15, A Villain in a Million. It's a slow drag with Riot Act. Episode 28, The Face of Your Affection. It's a slow drag with Men Called Uncle. And episode 46, Lust. It's a slow drag with the delightful Possession. You can find me on social media in all the usual places. Just search for my name, Remedy Robinson, or the name of my podcast, Slow Drag with Remedy. You can also visit slowdragwithremedy.com for companion blogs, transcripts, and other useful information. And as always, thank you so much for helping to get the word out about this little passion project. Truly, it means the world. So, until next time, adieu, my little belly-o. Slow drag with Remedy.